stay-at-home dad, watching Disney movies he never had. His daughter digs through all the VHS, crushing the classics in a princess dress. Informed like Scuttle, Kurt's got your ticket, making it real like Jiminy Cricket. Most are off the Captain Hook, but if the Tweedledum, he'll be taking more shots than Bambi's mom. Leaves him raised like Simba, or cracked like the beach dishes. He'll show you a whole new world, you won't need pre-wishes. Stay-at-home Disney dad.
Third installment of the trilogy. They go to Mars, which is super impressive because it took Jason Voorhees 10 movies and The Leprechaun 4. We have an ad for the original Brave Little Toaster, ad for Mowgli's Tale, the bizarre Kiki's Delivery Service tape, which I've still never seen, Lion King 2. After this, Brave Little Toaster movie. Stay tuned for a sneak peek at a brand new Brave Little Toaster movie. Wait, so this is the second of the trilogy? BLT Saves the Day or whatever is the third. Okay, this is the second. We press play. Mark McGrody is back. I love that name. He's the production manager. We float through space for the intro. We end up back at Rob's house. All the appliances are dancing to radio's old-timey rock and roll, and Ratso is there, and he reminds them all that people have written songs in the last 40 years, like new songs. That's kind of funny. Burn! We meet the new characters. There's a mom and kid kitchen tap, and a few things in a junk drawer, like a surly hearing aid and a calculator that only gets used once a year on April 14th for tax time. That's funny. Okay, if Ratso is in the house, then yes, this has to be the third movie, because they got Ratso in the second one, which means there's a fourth movie coming up, I guess. There's a microwave voiced by Newman. Master and Mistress were gone overnight. The appliances can't understand why they return, and they come home with a baby. Blanky asks where babies come from, and all the other appliances kind of dodge the question, although I would have loved to hear the vacuum voiced by the Tony the Tiger guy explain sex to us. Intercourse, it's real. Okay, don't laugh at that. You're better than that, everyone. It's loser Rob and his hot wife, Chris, and not surprisingly, the baby looks nothing like Rob. Microwave is flexing all over the place because he's needed now. He has to warm the bottle, so they need him. They don't need a dusty old vacuum or a stupid toaster or a lame lamp. Boom! Baby montage. They give their kid Blanky the electronic blanket, and he loves it, and he loves the shiny toaster, and I get what they're doing here, but should you let your kid play with a toaster? Who am I to judge? The kid falls at one point and vacuum saves his life and catches it, and all the appliances play with this kid, which is weird because even though Rob has weird severe attachment issues with this garage sale at best assortment of appliances, Rob doesn't actually know they're alive, right? Okay, the baby drags radio by the antenna. He takes his first step trying to get to the toaster. I'm trying to keep an open mind, but how the f*** did they get to Mars? Like, we're 20 minutes in. It's nighttime, and the calculator sneaks out and says, by my calculations, it should be transmitting now. The hearing aid follows them, and the curious toaster follows them both down the stairs. The hearing aid is at the window, communicating with something from outer space. Yes, tomorrow night, I'll be ready. Wow, this movie went 3, 2, 1 horror movie. The next night, the hearing aid is getting instructions from the Moon Men again, and all the appliances wake up. The hearing aid is like, no, do it now, we're running out of time. And then the baby crawls over to the hearing aid just as the Moon Men start to beam him up, and all the appliances and the baby end up in the beam, and they're all teleported with the hearing aid. No, they're not. Only the baby was taken. The baby is gone, and it's f***ing terrifying. Jeez, I mean, I appreciate the dip into darkness here, but goddamn Brave Little Toaster. The baby's gone. The baby's gone. They fire up another computer, communicate with the giant computer they cured from the virus in part 2 or 3. They put him in the museum. This guy, they ask if he can help get them to Mars because they figured out the kid was taken to Mars. So it's nice to see this character again, right? Like, full marks for continuity and callbacks. The supercomputer goes through a checklist of things he needs to get them to Mars. Microwave is needed as a power source. He has to pop corn that'll get them there. They gather all the items. The grumpy ceiling fan doesn't want to help, but then they explain that the little master has been space napped, and she explains that she's his biggest fan. Ratso and Blanket are trying to pretend like the baby is still in the bed, but they can't wake up the mean baby intercom. Because in this movie, the baby intercom with the bloodshot red eyes that never sleeps is a bad guy, which is wonderful. But the Blanket betrays Ratso and wants to go to Mars in case the baby's cold. Again, terrifying. When you really think about a baby alone in space, it's pretty dark. The popcorn-fueled microwave sends the laundry basket into space, and they're all riding into the atmosphere towards Mars. All right. The house they are in, used to belong to Albert Einstein, and that's why the calculator and the hearing aid are so smart. Can't argue with that. There's space balloons up here. Balloons that float forever in space. One was let go in Woodstock 69. I want to meet the balloon that was let go at Woodstock 99. One balloon is from a kid at a rodeo. This is so weird. All these balloons in the atmosphere have a musical backstory. They get to Mars, they land, and it's red, and it's dusty, and it's silent, and spooky. All the satellites up there are alive. They meet Viking 1, the satellite. He's a dick to them all, which is really funny. Suddenly, there's a Christmas tree angel ornament that knows she's pretty. Some kid thought it would be funny to send his toy into Mars inside Viking 1. She's sad. She's never even seen a Christmas tree. Finally, Microwave just breaks up this episode, and Jerry Springer is like, have you seen the kid? Oh, do you mean the baby floating in a bubble? The wonderluxe appliances are also on Mars, and they are military toasters. Apparently, they have the baby. Okay. Back on Earth, Ratso goes Ultimate Warrior on the baby monitor, press slams him, splashes him, then pulls out his batteries, which that third step is something the Warrior never did, but there's a bunch of these wonderluxe appliances on Mars, and they say the baby is their prisoner, and he's in a bubble. Baby is so excited to see the appliances. He and Blanky space hug through a bubble. Then they see a rocket on Mars. Lampy explores. It's pointing to Earth. See, they're planning to destroy Earth because Earth wanted to destroy them. The angel says it's a long story. They say, we don't have time. We don't have a lot of time, doll face. Flashback anyway. On Earth, the wonderluxe appliances were created, but not to last. They were created to break and fall apart so consumers would have to keep buying new ones. So the wonderluxe appliances escaped one night, built a rocket ship, and landed on Mars because they had a death sentence. Oh my God. The vacuum says, you expect us to believe a bunch of appliances did that? That's a fun nod. Then their leader emerges. It's a surly giant refrigerator, and everyone is chanting, power to the appliances. They want to destroy Earth because Earth tried destroying them. Then it gets weird. Gets weirder, and everyone tells Toaster, hey, if he wins the upcoming election tomorrow for the position of Supreme Commander, he can make the call not to destroy Earth. The Fridge is amused and says, let the campaign begin. Now they have this vote like every day. Fridge sings his platform has only one plank, humans stink and always stank. That's good stuff. It turns into a bizarre social commentary on the flaws of democracy, and sure, the third or second Brave Little Toaster movie is the perfect place to get this message across. Suddenly, the baby in the bubble touches the giant mean fridge, and he turns from a cold blue to a warm pink and is happy. But then he goes back to being normal cold blue and blows the baby bubble away. Toaster goes for a walk to collect his thoughts, and Blanky comes and is like, you won the vote, dude. You're the Supreme Commander of Mars. And they kind of tease that the power immediately goes to his head, like the Toaster's head. There's so many random little add-ons in this movie. The former Supreme Commander Fridge wants to congratulate him on his victory, and he lets down this giant staircase so they all go up to the icebox, and it's watery inside because he had a meltdown. And they don't actually make that joke. I made that up as I was watching, and I feel like the writers must have watched this after it was made, like after it was released, and they stay awake at night to this day, knowing they missed that obvious joke. Deep inside the freezer is another fridge, and in that fridge is another hearing aid. It was the other hearing aid's brother, Wizard of Ozing. This Supreme Commander role is a giant mean fridge. He was behind the fake giant fridge, and he had to rule them through fear. Okay, they need to get the baby back. So when Albert Einstein led them to the New World, he left his old hearing aid behind, and I can't be sure, but I think they're kind of implying that Hitler then used that hearing aid after Einstein left it. We back out of all this. They're packing the laundry hamper to return home. The angel says she liked Mars, but nothing lasts forever. We don't deserve that song. The angel says goodbye to the Vikings. She wants to go back with them. It's the voice of someone famous. I don't know. They load up the hamper, popcorn and all, and they're off. The hearing aid forgot to cancel the rocket that's going to destroy Earth. He's the only one that knows the abort code. Toaster goes Armageddon and goes on a suicide mission to stop the rocket. He and the hearing aid stop it, but they're stuck on Mars because everyone left. Toaster says, I'm going to miss the mistress. Like we all would. And in the laundry basket, Angel says, no, we got to go back. We got to get them. And they do. Toaster running is never not funny, but now they're out of popcorn, which powers the ship to come back. Because they saved them, so now they're out of popcorn. But the angel's hair is made of corn, so they put it in the microwave for extra fuel, and they get home, they make it back, and Ratso has the baby monitor tied up. They all fantasize about being home again, and oh yeah, see, he's Dr. Rob. They passed Dr. Rob's pet clinic. This has to be the third movie. Everyone back to their places. Tinselina, the angel, doesn't want to go inside because she's embarrassed because she's bald, and I gotta know, does the car... The monitor escapes and wakes up Rob and Chris, and they go into the baby's room, and they don't see the baby because the baby's outside the crib walking. They just made it. Everyone is safe, and they made it except for Bald Angel. She's out in the yard about to throw herself in the trash, but Chris finds her, and Rob is like, that thing's garbage. And she goes, excuse me? You taught me never to throw anything away. Yes, give him hell, Chris. Jumping forward, it's Christmas morning. Baby's first word is toaster. He gathers up all the appliances Christmas morning. The lips on the mum faucet make me really uncomfortable. They and the microwave and the calculator plan to have a Christmas party after everyone goes to bed that night. They light the tree, and the angel with hair is atop the tree, and we pull out from a Christmas living room scene to end the movie. Let's see the credits. Farrah Fawcett. Oh my God, please tell me Farrah Fawcett was the faucet. Farrah Fawcett better have been the faucet. Farrah Fawcett was the faucet. That's the greatest thing that has ever happened in movie history. Farrah Fawcett playing a faucet. Carol Channing voiced someone, and this was the third toaster movie out of 4, I guess. Let's see what the next movie is about. It's the final chapter. The brave little toaster to the rescue. What the... That doesn't make sense. That doesn't line up with this movie, that it comes after this one. He's already a dog. You know, I've probably spent enough of my life stressing about the Brave Little Toaster trilogy. I'm going to cut.
That's what I think about.
What do you think?
What we have is a concern about Curtis Anderson. His interviewing style is not the best. His personal appearance is not the best. I was wondering if the man has some kind of a hold over the channel that he's allowed to be employed for so long with the standards of journalism and personal appearance that he has. Thank you.